Hello, Year Sevens. We are going to make a start on another unit. We are exploring further into composition by exploring the works of Beethoven, who is one of the greatest composers out there. Hopefully, you know who that is. He was one of the greatest composers and also one of the greatest composers in the Romantic era, and a lot of what we know today is based on his works. So, we are going to explore composition by looking at his stuff. Starting with, the unit is called Beethoven's Bites, starting with the genius of simplicity. Okay? By simplicity, they're talking about how to make an incredible composition out of something so simple. So to do that, we are actually going to watch a video. But I would like you to, first of all, copy these questions out. The questions are, what does the video mean by genius of simplicity? Obviously, you have to watch the video to answer that. Later in the video, what was the first example used to express this simplicity? What was the process using that one note into the next section? Okay, so the hint is there is a voiceover that sounds echoey. Listen to what he says to work out what were the steps he was taking in that section, okay, to go into the faster section of the piece. Why would Beethoven improvise when he was working on a composition? So in this part of the video, you'll notice there's actually a quote from Beethoven himself. So you just have to answer that. Next part of the video, you are about to hear a section of the symphony from the start. What instruments can you see are playing the simple sections? Now, a hint with that one is listen now for the long notes and the notes that are slow and the same pitch, playing the same note, okay? Then, after that, you will actually hear the whole symphony, the first movement of the symphony in its entirety. Count how many times the piece becomes simplistic. So it gets where it actually starts with just one note and then gets busy, but then goes back to one note again and then gets busy again. Okay, so I would like you to do a count to be able to do that. All right, so here is the video. Watch it from start to finish. It's a bit over 20 minutes long, but answer these questions and then just you actually have to answer these questions throughout the whole video. And where to actually hear the whole piece, you do need to count this out. So just go ahead and do that. Okay, the video is about to play now.
Hi, my name is Richard Vaudry and welcome to Melbourne Symphony Orchestra's Beethoven Bites. Throughout this series, we'll discover some of the musical secrets that Beethoven's genius teaches us by exploring his 7th Symphony. From how he used the instruments of the symphony orchestra to express the deepest of human emotions, to his brilliance in constructing whole symphonies out of small ideas. Is it possible Beethoven taught us everything we need to know about music in just one symphony? Let's find out. In this first bite, we're going to explore the genius of simplicity, how the great improviser Beethoven turned seemingly basic musical ideas into symphonies of epic proportions. Here's the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. Let's take that image of a symphony of epic proportions and have a listen to this. That is not what I imagined. Not even close. That was 25 seconds of the note E. Can that be right? Let's check the score. Yep. A lot of rests and a handful of E's. It's not quite the epic symphony I imagined. I was expecting Beethoven to be more this. You see, here lies one of the keys to Beethoven's brilliance. The ability to take a small and accessible musical idea, then build upon it with variances in harmony, rhythm, and orchestration to create something epic. The skill is that even when it reaches maximum complexity, we, the listener, can still connect with the small and accessible idea that's still present in the music. For example, take this one transitional passage from the first movement of Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. These few notes are a window into Beethoven's thought process. Through this window is revealed the exact thinking of an improvisational composer, taking a simple idea, playing with it and developing it. You can literally hear Beethoven feeling it out as he goes. Let's have another listen. Okay, I've finished with one idea. Let's look for another. Strip this back. Just the ease now. Let's slow down the rhythm. Let them wonder what's gonna happen next. Good amount of space and uncertainty. How about an upbeat to the E? Ooh, I like that. It's good. Let's make a rhythm out of that. Dotted 6/8 feel. This'll work. Alright. Let's go. Yeah. This could go somewhere. Awesome, right? Beethoven confirms this himself. You see, like many other great composers, Beethoven was a renowned improviser. He stated himself, "I sat down, began to improvise, sad or happy, according to my mood, serious or trifling. Once I had seized upon an idea, my whole endeavour was to develop and sustain it, keeping with the rules of art." There is many great story documented in Beethoven's history about his phenomenal improvisational abilities. "No one has heard improvised playing unless he has heard Beethoven," stated John Baptist Kramer, another great pianist. It was even customary in Beethoven's time for piano duels, pretty much like a rap battle, where crowds would gather to watch two pianists battle it out with improvisations at the keyboard. After getting whooped in one of these duels, Beethoven's opponent admitted, "I did not touch my piano for several days." So here's the game. While enjoying listening to Beethoven, listen for his basic idea. And most of the time, it's really basic. And then revel in the ways Beethoven develops it. Let's go back to the start of the symphony. Hint. Listen to the long notes. Brilliant! The basic idea was 4 minims, 3 descending and 1 ascending. So simple. So this process of taking a simple idea and then developing it into something new and more complex shows Beethoven's genius. We connect and can grab onto these small accessible ideas, and then we are taken somewhere unimaginable while still having the comfort and familiarity of our small idea. It makes the inaccessible complexity and daring, logical, exciting, and moving. So go and be a Beethoven. Take 4 notes, experiment with them, try them backwards or upside down. Put the first one last or the last one first. Layer them, speed them up, slow them down. But then again, maybe just do what feels right. Who knows, you might just turn them into something truly remarkable. No pressure.
Okay, I hope you got something out of that, and I hope you managed to answer these questions. If so, don't. If not, or you had issues, please don't forget to ask your teacher for help. Okay. Now we're moving on. Just as an activity, there's two activities. One for if you are at home, and one for if you are in class, and for whatever reason you're playing the video in class. So this is for when you are at home. Activity one. Attempt to develop something interesting out of something simple. So, if you have an instrument at home, or even you can use two sticks to hit together, try to create something interesting starting with just one note. All right, and record yourself and submit it. Consider starting long notes, then incorporate rhythm, then attempt to add more notes to form a melody. Remember, you are improvising. Now, having said that, consider if you have done this and you still have your junkyard instruments, you could potentially use that. That's a potential time to use. That's a great time for you to use it. All right. If you still have your junkyard instrument, which I hope you do, why don't you submit with you doing this activity? Okay. If you are in class, we will do this activity. Your teacher will call out students one by one to use the class keyboard in the front. Try to start with one note and improvise incorporating rhythm. Then add more notes to create a melody. You're just basically doing the same thing, only with a keyboard. Okay? So, uh, good luck. Uh, I'll show you where you will submit this. Your learning task will appear on your compass in music under learning task, called Beethoven's Bites, lesson 1, because this is lesson 1. You have two things to submit. Take a photo of your questions you answered from the video. You would have written it in your exercise book, or you could have written it in a Word doc. You can submit that. Submit a video of yourself improvising from one note to something interesting. So that's basically what you do. It doesn't have to be any more than 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, just like that section in Beethoven. Also, there's two sections like I said, there's two things you need to submit. There'll be a section where you can submit your questions and a section where you submit your improvised bit. Okay? And that's all you have to do for today. So please make sure you do that. If you are in classroom, if you're doing the exercise in the classroom, you obviously don't have to submit the improvised work. Okay? So only the questions need to be photoed. If you are doing this in classroom time as well, your teacher might just cite your work instead of having you submit this as well. Okay? All right. Good luck, and please observe your due date. Thank you.